We have 5 online Naruto Storm Connections matches for your enjoyment, guys. It's going to be amazing. We have the last Naruto, the last Sasuke versus Karen Sasuke and Kimimaru. Now, we're going to be talking a lot about how this game should be played, a lot of different things. In the last patch, and this is 2024, in the last patch that we received, for the first time ever in patch notes that I've ever seen, two-man teams got a buff. Now, if you don't know, most Japanese players in Japan who play this game competitively in competitive Japanese tournaments, official tournaments, they only do two-man teams. They don't do three-man teams. Now, I like three-man teams just as much as the next person, and I started off playing three-man teams, but there's a certain type of amazing joy, euphoria, and excitement, as well as satisfaction that you get like this. Oh my god, did you see the switching? It's so beautiful. When you use two-man teams, we're going to talk a little bit about that here and why that is, and why you should give them a shot if you haven't already. They're very difficult to start off with in the beginning. However, even if you like three-man teams more and you can never get around to playing two-man teams, you should at least learn two-man teams because it will make you better at three-man teams. Look at this pop up into guard manipulation into Sasuke's Karen ultimate jutsu. Absolutely amazing, and I think that I'm dead here, guys. I think it's over for me. Yep. And I can't get out of it there. Guard pressure into guard break into combo, and I lose this match. 4 more matches, guys. You're gonna love all of these. Make sure to hit that like button, watch the entire video, and then comment and let me know your thoughts. So, here we go. We're gonna spice things up here. We're gonna do our best to get some wins and to play in a meaningful way, which leads me to my next part, is that when you and the people that you play choose to play only two-mans, or set with only two-mans with no three-mans, you actually not only get better at the game, but you end up slowly learning to enjoy the game a lot more and getting more satisfaction out of it. The reason for that is that there's a lot more meaningful neutral. As you see here, shuriken into shuriken into shuriken while going forward into finally guard pressure into getting all of this. And he has the health lead. So he earned that health lead. Right? And here we have a nice combo here for the last Sasuke. Let's see what happens. So a lot of what happens here is that when you eventually do get your combo time, like what you just saw here, that was a restand and after from the down combo, you actually get a lot more this sense of feeling like you earned it, right? And then the other player eventually learns to get this sense of a feeling like they earned it as well. So they're not as resentful when they're getting comboed. They're not as resentful when they lose. They're not as upset because they know that both players are more likely to earn their wins in a two-man team. Now, we have fairly strong teams here, but not broken teams. Of course, you could do something like 6-Pass Madara with Momoshiki, or Momoshiki and Karen, or 6-Pass Madara and Karen, or Ishiki and Karen, right? Or Ishiki and Momoshiki. And, you could play with those two-man teams. And, of course, those would be more meta two-man teams. They'd be stronger two-man teams. But the whole point would be is maybe to pick one strong character and then one not-so-strong character, but characters that have good synergy. Sometimes characters that are real-name teams like Kimimaru and Karen Sasuke or Hebi Sasuke is a real 2- and 3-man team, right? It's like Orochimaru's band. If you add in any other Orochimaru character like Orochimaru, Kabuto, Tayuya, anything like that, you will get a real name team in past games like something it's called Orochimaru's Band or Sound Ninja or something like that. Of course, Team 7, Naruto and Sasuke have their own two-man teams, typically with their own names, so those are also real. However, it's not just about the name, it's more about the meaning, right? So what's in a name? A name could be named anything, right? It's more about the meaning and the meaning behind the name and the meaning behind the fact that there's meaning, right? And that you're not just picking the most broken, most powerful things that give you easy wins, right? You want to be in control. You want to have that manual control. Look at that, was insane, man. That was absolutely beautiful. These fights are actually really amazing and top tier, so I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay. But anyways, It's more about you making choices. And it's about, if you make the choice and you make the wrong choice, then this is where the skill comes in, right? This is where we start to see that, hey, in the fight, this other player made better choices than me overall, and he happened to win. So that actually is a good sign that it's a skill-based game. And it's a good sign that the person deserved to win. And it's a good sign that over time, that person was more skilled than me on this particular day in this particular set. Winning is important. We'll talk more about that another time, but how you win is more important than winning. And this is the big issue in this community, is that most people are just fixating on winning, and not enough people are understanding why someone won and why someone lost in a set. They just accept the win as a W or an L, right? They just accept the situation as, well, this happened. And now more and more people are starting to discover, especially in connections, is becoming more evident, that the netcode is absolutely horrible. The online experience is not stable. And a lot of people haven't trained themselves yet to figure out the signs of what is stable, not stable, and what was a good fight and a not good fight based off of the netcode. But then there's the good fight and bad fight, right? Or how the game should be played and isn't played based off of what teams are being used, right? And then there's like inputs being eaten up, where you put an input in and the game does not register it for some reason. Maybe it's the online netcode and the experience, or maybe it's just the game or the system or whatever you're playing on, right? Doing things differently. Although it is true that all the games are most likely the same game on every different console, whether it's PC, Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, and whatever we have in the future, although that is probably true, all of those systems behave a little bit differently. Like, even I've noticed between the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, the same game, like Storm 4, will behave differently. Well, why is that? There's different variables there, right? And that variable may not be the game itself, but it may be the console, the system that the game is on. So how should the game be played? I think the game should be played how you want it to be played, how you enjoy it to be played, but I think you should look at all your options. I think you should really not discount two-man teams, and at least, whether you want to get better at the game, right? Whether you just want to have fun, whether you want to see who's really the more skilled person, whether you want to experience something in a more invigorating way, you should learn two-man teams. And give it a shot. When you first start using two-man teams, it's actually very difficult. It takes a long time to get used to it. But over time, you will find that it's, in many cases, more stable. In many cases, it's enough. You have enough options as long as you craft a good two-man team with good synergy. We can talk about synergy multipliers and the synergy and team building later on if you want. Leave a comment on that specifically if you want to hear something about team building, how to make teams, what teams you should be using, what is a synergy multiplier. It's a term I created not that long ago to explain that certain teams, you want to focus on the teamwork and the synergy multiplier, right? More so than how strong the character is. So a lot of people don't know this, that I could pick two mid-tier characters that have a high team synergy multiplier, and it actually potentially would be better team than, say, Ishiki and Momoshiki. Like, I know it would blow your mind, but it's actually true. So let me know specifically about all these things. We talked about so many things, and I'm going to need your help on this one. Hit that like button. And, just let me know. Take some time, think about it, come back to the video, share the video. And man, I really love this team here. So this is a good example where this team specifically has a high team synergy multiplier, maybe even slightly higher than the Naruto on the last Sasuke. But because this Kabuto, he's really good. Not as good as he was pre-patch with all the armor and invincibility frames. Like, he was just like one of the best characters in the game, and most people didn't know. It wasn't just because he had the poison down tag or the poison tag. It was because his chakra dissection blade was basically undefeated. Unless you get hit by some projectile, it was like the best thing in the game that no one was using. And very interesting stuff. I would have preferred to use this character instead of PTS Shino. He was that good. Also, I don't see PTS Shino players much anymore either.